Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad to see everyone in the chat room already. Thank you for the thumbs up. Tonight is going to be a pretty interesting conversation. And I noticed that someone wanted to know how all of this ties into the pyramids. And, it's really not a stretch that it does because they're finding that some of these chambers were actually harmonic chambers. And they had electrical means, like via their pots, clay pots, they had electricity. So very possible that it could have been used as some kind of portal in theory, but definitely a workable theory considering engineering. But um, don't want to get too far ahead too quick. But I thought I'd at least say that and say welcome everyone. All right, scrolling up here on my notes. I hope you guys watched the two previous videos. If you didn't, the links are in the description box, along with links to my PayPal, my backup channels, Daily Excellence's channels, Off Grid with Paul and Adrian's channels, their backup channels. Everything is there if you want to take a look at that. And we have all three of us, Brother Paul, Pastor Anthony, and I. We have scheduled today a live that we're going to do together next Sunday. It's going to be 7 Central, 8 Eastern next Sunday. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be about bringing the church back together because there does seem to be a lot of fighting sometimes, and we want to start working on that. All right, so tonight, though, it's about Stargates, parallel universes, and the Mandela effect. And believe me, these things are all related. The government, for a long time, has been investigating all of these things, and it's because of the things that they've been doing, like messing around with the fabric of space and time, right? That you have these Mandela effects. Now, you would have to wonder why. I mean, a Mandela effect is basically because two parallel universes have touched. There's some kind of bridge or something has caused them to touch in some way. All right. And when this happens, transfers of people and things like buildings, cars, excuse me, the transfer of things can happen. And we've seen that where, and the reason for that can vary due to natural and unnatural phenomena. Natural meaning something in space big enough to warp the fabric of space and time, which we literally have in our backyard right now, which is called our binary solar system, Planet X, Nibiru, that big iron oxide planet circling around with that huge magnetar, the blue Kachina. That would do it too. And it's interesting because we know that Nibiru is the destroyer. But, oh gosh, I don't want to lose my train of thought. But, oh yeah, while it is the destroyer, it does have the capacity to cause rips, cause doors, cause things that we couldn't imagine before to kind of be unveiled, to be revealed, right? And isn't this these last days a season of things being revealed, the masks being taken off, the veils being taken off, the babies being born out of the womb so we can finally see them. We know it's there, but it's hidden in plain sight. And now we get to look at what this really actually means. Now, because God is the one who sent the destroyer, and he told us about things being revealed, strange and perilous times. He is in many ways trying to get our attention. It is when you talk about signs in the heavens and the earth, you, these things are in conjunction with things like the blood moons, the eclipses, the red rivers that we get, just the constellation Revelation 12 thing that happened in 2017. We are getting a lot of signs, but it's amazing how much work the military and the government did to get us where we are today and how it even all started, right? But make no mistake, the technology and the information that was deemed from the fallen to make these wormholes, these stargates, to be able to travel this way, all came from the fallen. And we will end up destroying ourselves with our technology. With all this knowledge, we'll end up destroying ourselves because we didn't get it from the right place. But in essence, this technology that was given to us is a Trojan horse in a nutshell. Spaceships, the other technology, the Stargates, all of it is a Trojan horse. Let me go ahead and check the comments super duper fast before we go any faster. Hello, Adrian, Saxon. Sorry you're feeling sick, honey. Brian Smith, Scrappy Dappy Doo, Veronica. Say hi to Robin. Hello, Robin. Clarissa. Who else? It's hard to scroll up. Okay, we're doing good. Yahuwah's Child, Johanna, Thermal Ascension. Good to see everybody. Very, very good. All right, yes, it's definitely one of the hot days today. Okay, so now if a Stargate is a little different than a time machine. A Stargate is something that can get you to different places in the universe, anywhere in space. But it can also get you to anywhere in another parallel universe, even different dimensions. Some of these dimensions in parallel universes are not copacetic for life. So when they figured out how the Stargate works, they couldn't just start dialing, right? They had to find a way to figure out how to locate these places that were conducive for life without having traveled there before. Now, in order to do that, these Stargates, first of all, are intricately paired with remote viewers. But not only that, but remember that RNG factor that we were talking about, random numbers kind of thing, and that it was related to the Cliff High WebBot project. If you remember that they used higher emotional summations to gather information, right? Sort of like what they kept calling a collective consciousness. Now, what they didn't tell you is that the collective consciousness might not include just people. It could include animals, other beings from other dimensions, or even plant life. Because we found in the last live that plants do exhibit emotions. And if you're looking for signs of life in space, in the whole universe and all the galaxies, and that's what they were doing, signs of life does not stop at humans, of course, right? And we can't assume. Now, when you have a Stargate, like I said, it's a little bit different than just time travel. Because in time travel, you're basically on one timeline, right? At least that is what happens when you start, unless you do something to cause butterfly effects, and you can skew and create an alternate reality, because parallel universes are basically making up the summation of the different choices that we made, at least the ones that are parallel to ours, that have life, that have humans. It's about different choices, and that's how an alternate reality can be created. Okay, but these RNG WebBot things, they with quantum computing and especially with quantum computers communicating with each other in their own language from different parallel universes, they would be able to find signs of life through frequency, basically. Because every time, even in our universe, has a different frequency. The earth gives off a frequency, the emotions of the people at each time, how many people there are, there's different frequencies. And when you're going to a different location in this universe, you have to dial that into the Stargate. If you're going to a parallel universe, that has to be dialed in. So maybe, not maybe, what this means is that it's a Stargate is like a rotary telephone, but you're dialing in broadband. You have to have multiple, like an area code, like what parallel universe, what are the coordinates, what's the time, what's the date. You see what I mean? Where exactly do you want to go? Because you can do that, and that's what Stargates are for. Now, that also means that other beings that shouldn't be here, that are not cool, can come here too. It opens a door on our side that shouldn't be open. Now, the fallen were here before, and we did have things like the pyramids that were made, and they still can't figure out how. But I tell you what, if they at least had some pulleys and some 10 to 30-foot giants, I bet that might not have been so hard. Plus, there was water around the area, so they could have shipped some things in, but it has been said that the pyramids also point to the Orion's belt, at least the ones that are very famous. They've got the three distinct pyramids that line up perfectly with it. So we know for a fact that at least in some essence, it was intended to be related with the stars somehow. All right. So this is why, one of the reasons why you have to watch your emotions, because they're being watched, but they also manipulate you through them. They know what's important to you. All those little surveys that they're always doing. Hey, do you like white chocolate or dark chocolate? No chocolate. What have you heard this ad? How, what would you rather have? This is data that they are collecting, and it is it does so much, but it's basically to control you. The more they know about you, the better they know how to control you. And when you've got a God complex like people like this must have, okay, believe me, they're going to look to control you, which they did. They went through the televisions, they hypnotized, they subliminal, a lot of these drugs that came out, people didn't just brilliantly cook them up in their backyards in all these cases. A lot of these cases, they came out of government laboratories. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Even with the MK Ultra, they kept a lot of the monarchs drugged the whole time, so they can't even remember it even happened. Okay? It's about control. All right. There was a program that was a secret program that the CIA had. And there's an article, it's called CIA Had Secret Program to Send People in the Past or the Future by Mind Power. This article was written February 21st, 2021 by Technology. CIA technique dubbed the Gateway Experience was essentially described as a training system to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency. Notice that word frequency, because our brains run off of it too. They can manipulate you by just your emotions just through frequency. They can kill you with frequency. I'm not kidding you. All right, but this is what this gateway experience is about, is they want to enhance your strength and focus, coherence. They're basically designing brains and people and putting us under control. All right, see, okay, to the amplitude and frequency of brain wave output. It uses, according to the CIA report, ranged from converting energy to heal one's body to traveling across space and time to learn and access new information. Now, I mean, really, it's juvenile to travel across time. You really have an enhanced brain and you understand the fabric of space and time. You don't ever have to leave your body, and you never, ever should. Okay, that is not only witchcraft, but it's dangerous because you can get stuck somewhere else and something else can get you, like in you where you belong. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to leave yourself open. Somebody that truly has an advanced brain knows how to use the space and fabric of time like a computer. It's out there, but you can access it. And like when you're looking on your computer and you click a tab, you can see it, right? You bring it to you, you fold that space and time, you access that information, but you don't leave ever your body. Not unless God takes you out of it, you stay put, you know. But when it came to the CIA, they didn't matter if it was godly or not, the way things were done. They just wanted results. Okay. It says, yes, it sounds quite mumbo jumbo, but CIA approved testing for this under the eyes of U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonald. The project was classified by the CIA until 2003. McDonald was commissioned to work on the Gateway experience in the 1980s, around the time the Stargate project was also going on. Okay, in the 80s, at a time in U.S. history when the nation was taking a deep different varieties of psychic research. Okay, so why would they want a gateway program to be able to send your mind to the past or the future, maybe to other universes to check things out? I told you. If you can do that, that's kind of a form of remote viewing. Remote viewers shouldn't have to leave their body; they can just see. But that is a way to go about doing it, really. Yeah. But I mean, but why? You see what I mean? And so there's this PDF right here. It's called Monroe Institute of Applied Scientists Presents the Gateway Program. Who are we? In 1958, Robert Monroe, a New York broadcasting executive, began having experiences that drastically altered his life. Unpredictably and without willing it, Monroe found himself leaving his physical body to travel via a second body to locales far removed from the physical and spiritual realities of his life. He was inhabiting a place unbound by time or space. So, not really a kosher way to do things spiritually at all, but this is what the CIA was doing. You understand? So, as it's the seed of it, at least, was there in 1958. Okay. Let me see. I'm just checking out a couple things, Superfish. All right. Hello, Keith. All right. I hope y'all are having a good time. I really do. Thank you for all the thumbs up. So you got to remember, okay, why? Because this is related to Stargate. Believe me, it is, and parallel universe. Mandela effect is actually the result, like I said, of changes that are made or bridges that are formed between two parallel universes, or something that is big enough to warp it naturally, like Nibiru. But CERN can also do that because it's a big magnet, it's electromagnetics and frequency, and a huge computer with lots of frequencies that they can dial in. They can do all kinds of stuff with that Hadron Collider, and that includes opening gates. Now, when you think about dark matter, if you don't really believe they're messing around with this, then you have to ask yourself why they're talking about dark matter. You have to realize that it only comes from one place, and it's not here. It's not on our plane. It's not natural for us. It doesn't belong here. So how are they getting it? All right. You know what I'm talking about. All right. There's an article here when it comes to more on the Stargates. Now it looks like remote viewing has taken a step up, right? It's not just remote viewing on these projects anymore, but now there's a new thing called commercial space remote sensing and its role in national security. So now remote viewing is, no doubt about it, tied to space. It is, okay? But they're doing it commercially, okay, to check with for asteroids or something. I don't know what they're doing, but the article reads, over the past 2 decades, so this starts going back 20 years, okay, the pace of innovation in the commercial space remote sensing industry has accelerated. The capabilities provided by commercial firms can be used to complement government space systems across a wide range of national security missions and fill in gaps in capabilities where the U.S. government has lagged. The challenge for the military and intelligence community is understanding how to leverage commercial capabilities for military advantage. Uh, I just don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling when I see words like military advantage. I just don't. While protecting national security, safety and security, you guys, and maintaining the health and competitiveness of U.S. companies in the global remote sensing market. This CSIS brief examines how the paradigm for space remote sensing has changed within the U.S. government, the way commercial systems can support this new paradigm for national security reasons. Wait, hold on. Yeah, missions and the roles commercial systems can play in strategic competition. The brief concludes by looking at alternative acquisition approaches and key policy issues that should be addressed to fully leverage the innovation capabilities and additional capacity offered by commercial space remote sensing companies. You see? I mean, talk about a job to apply for. All right. See, this is a lot bigger than you think. Okay, it's not just a show Stargate. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes. I mean, it's been rumored they know who's going to be president years before, like decades before somebody comes president because somehow they've seen it. How come? How'd they get that information? How? There's a lot of things. All right, but when it comes to Stargates and CERN, it does say in the Bible that eventually somebody would be given the key to the bottomless pit, and CERN would definitely be one definite key. Okay, now Stargate has time travel, wormhole, parallel universe travel, and dimensional travel capabilities. It's not just for other worlds in our universe. Okay, it's a lot more complicated than just a time machine. Believe that. Okay, Stargates have already affected your life in ways that you may not realize. There's also people that are directly affected by just having the knowledge. These are the secrecy in these families enslaves these families. They might look like elites, they might look like they're in on something, but they are holding on to deadly secrets and they're enslaved. They're silent prisoners. And the only thing that can explain these glitches, this Mandela effects, these anomalies, is interference in the parallel universes. And you hear lots of stories about those. There was a question about time travel and killing your grandpa. Can you travel back and kill your grandpa? And I will tell you right now that the time and space, it has a balance to it. It has a way of making sure that things are copacetic. All right. Now, this is what would actually happen. If you went back in time and killed your own grandpa, first of all, no, that's not possible. Not on your timeline. No, it's not. If you successfully went back and killed your grandpa, then what you had actually done is killed another version of you's grandpa in an alternate reality. Because your grandpa, if you go back, will still be there because you are still there. You see what I mean? So, no, you cannot go kill your own grandpa. You can create an alternate reality for somebody, though. That is how the universe deals with paradoxes like that. Like, say a remote viewer is sitting in front of her team or his team, and they ask the remote viewer to find the target. But every time the remote viewer goes to tell them where and who this target is or what the target is, the information, everything disappears. Meaning that the future that was going to happen doesn't exist simply because you told them and they stopped it. So, in essence, you can't tell them about a future that never happened. In essence, in order for it to happen, you can't tell them in order for it to be true. That is a paradox, which would mean that in some cases, the remote viewer would be unable to deliver the truth until after the event had happened in order for it to still be true. That's a paradox, too. And those do happen. Those do happen. But time and space has a way of dealing with that. There's balance in all things. And when things are out of balance, whew, the recoil is crazy. Um, you will notice a lot of movies that are about parallel dimensions, like Back to the Future 2. They had a skewed timeline when Biff got the almanac. You had sliding doors with Gwyneth Paltrow that showed two different versions of her life based on whether or not she caught just a simple subway train on time. We are familiar with the butterfly effect, that he tried different ways to save his friends and couldn't do it. Source code, they want to find a terrorist who blew up a train. There's a movie called Parallels, and even The Family Man with Nicolas Cage, who got a glimpse of what his life would have been like in a parallel universe had he chosen to stay with this lady that he was in love with back in college. Alrighty. Are there any questions? Hello, Diana and Lorena. Always good to see you, girl. Ladies. Hello, Five Flames. Long time no see, sweetie. The spoken word. Research project Looking Glass that talks about time travel. Yes. Time travel is just the very least of it. The Stargate is the big mama. Okay, there's time travel and then there's Stargate. And it's amazing what went on into being able to find the right numbers, the right frequencies in a broadband to dial to get to each Stargate location. But you had to find out where these locations were first. And so, yes, you had to do RNG experiments, you had to do remote viewing, you had to do quite a bit, actually, just so, I mean, even ancient hieroglyphs and different things that they would have to have looked through everything, which is exactly what they did. Now, what do you think this is leading up to? You got to think about great deception that's coming. You know, holograms will be used. But when you see like these accounts where there's UFOs and they go to shoot off and they just disappear, that's because they are using Stargate technology. They're not just racing away so fast. They are literally jumping through a Stargate. They may be jumping to their garage a mile away. I don't know. They could be jumping to a plane on the constellation Orion, that star system. I don't know. But they can get there just like walking through a door. But that's what they're using. Where is it going, though? A lot of great deception. They're going to try to convince mankind that they are responsible for the human race, that we were their experiment, and that we should worship them as gods, which is kind of what they were trying to pull last time they were here. That's where all these little g gods came from? The fallen. And they expect nothing less from us this time around, too. So you need to know what they've been up to. You have to wake up. You have to take the information and realize that it's not just a bunch of science. They are messing with your life. They're messing with the outcomes. They're messing with your emotions. They're using your emotions. They're using your emotions to not just manipulate you into going certain directions, but to divide the people, to keep us divided, keep us fighting. They can do all kinds of stuff. So you have to be rooted right now. You have to make sure that you are at least aware of what they're up to, because it's all culminating. You understand? Because really, all of this technology, it's of a spiritual nature. And it's not a good spiritual nature. We're going into a war, light and dark. Okay? God is much bigger. Okay? Trust me. Stay rooted in Him. No faking it, y'all. You've got to get as close to Him as a teddy bear in a child's arms. I'm not kidding you. Hold on tight. Hello, Debbie. Their ships can. I don't understand that sentence, sister. I'm sorry. All right. Yes, Peggy Sue Got Married is a time travel movie. Yes, 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 yes. I think she got to see a version of her life in the future, like what it was going to be like. I don't think she looked very happy with goofy Illuminati members. Well, they always have to give themselves away, I think. I really do. Magic mirror. That's right. That's right. It all culminates together. You have to ask yourself, why? Why? So when you look at these Mandela effects, know that somebody's been messing around with things they shouldn't be. Like I said, wonky things start happening when you start messing around with space and time. There is a balance, there is a recoil, there are paradoxes where just can be made, doors open that should not be open. Okay, there is a reason they dismantled this technology in ancient days. It's really one of those forbidden fruits. You really shouldn't touch it. That is Pandora's box. It should never be opened. And it's going to rain hell down on us for it. All right, you guys, we'll talk more in the near future. Don't forget Paul and Adrian and channel Off Grid and Daily Excellence next Sunday, 6 o'clock. And hopefully I'll get to talk to you before then, at least say hi and update you on something interesting going on around the world. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a good time. God bless you, and I will talk to you.